Hello and welcome to the 40 Sundays YouTube channel. My name is Tiffany. If you have joined me before, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. I am so glad to have you. Guys, I have to be honest about something. And it's a little hard to kind of talk about because this can definitely be something, and I feel like this is something we've all experienced, and it's it was hard to pinpoint, but once I did, I started to realize how important it was to come on here and talk about. Because one, I didn't expect to start feeling it so early on in getting back to posting. And then two, also what that really meant about learning how to show up for myself, learning how to persevere, learning how to push past the difficulty of challenge. And so I'm just going to level with you guys because I really woke up today just not feeling well. My stomach was hurting. I felt really nauseous, felt like a mild grade headache, just did not feel well. But I knew it wasn't because I was experiencing like cold or flu symptoms. I just did not feel well in my body. And it really stemmed from my mental wellness. And so, along with those symptoms, I was experiencing some irritability as well. I continued throughout my day. I started my day with my devotion and reading and prayer, and I just went about my day. But the feeling, especially the irritability, did not subside. And so I just pressed on and just continued to just do my thing. And what I've come to figure out about myself, one grounding technique for me is a hot shower. That is a surefire way for me to be able to come back to myself. Just the something about the hot steam just allows thought to kind of just break up and start to reflect. And it's like the steam just allows my brain to just kind of start to process things. And so when I was in the hot shower, I just stood there and let it run all over my body. And I just began to reflect on why I was feeling this way, because I knew I was not feeling physical elements of sickness. And what dawned on me was it was the feeling to shrink. It was the feeling to shrink. And what I mean by shrinking is it was the feeling to shrink back into or retreat back from showing up for myself. And I'm feeling kind of emotional about it because oftentimes when we are striving for something, when we're trying to change something about ourselves, our lifestyle, whether that be physically, whatever it might be, it's so hard. It is so hard, especially like if you're trying to change some type of like eating routine, that's extremely hard. You're trying to cut sugar, you're trying to change your diet, you're trying to get into more physical exercise. Those beginning stages are so challenging, and challenging really is an understatement. And so when I came to realize that it was the temptation to shrink back and to start to give myself an excuse to not show up today, I had a choice. Because what I had to realize is that just because I was tempted to shrink, that does not mean that that was a truth. I had a decision to make. And so I was going to come on and talk about other things today, but I really wanted to share really where I was in this moment. Because if you're in a place where you are doing something new, that's challenging you, that don't allow yourself to shrink back. Allow yourself to feel the pains, growing pains, literally, the growing pains of growing past a comfort zone, growing past the limiting thoughts, because those are what you're really dealing with. Because your body really and your brain is going into protective mode because it's saying, hey, wait, stop. It's trying to protect you, but we have to be able to get past those thoughts, because if we always stay within our safe zone, it's going to not only slow momentum, but we're never really going to see the fruits of what's on the other side of getting past these obstacles. And so I had to decide that today I was going to persevere. And not only am I going to persevere today, but I'm going to persevere tomorrow, and I'm going to persevere the next day, because I know what's at stake. And I'm also choosing to show up for myself, and that I'm also choosing that to have self-respect. So I just wanted to encourage you today that if you're going through something where we've talked about it in the last couple of days about, rejection and what that really means. These are the moments that make or break your self-confidence and, getting to know yourself, because these are the times where these are the moments that self-respect, that learning to love yourself are cultivated in, because these are the moments when nobody else is around, and we have to choose to show up for ourselves, because sometimes it's only going to be you. Sometimes it's only going to be you showing up for you. And so you can't depend on other people to always motivate you towards your goal, always hold you accountable to your goal. You have to hold yourself accountable to your goal. And I decided that this time that there wasn't going to be an excuse. There wasn't going to be an excuse in the world that was going to stop the momentum this time. And so if you are tempted to shrink, just know that discomfort does not mean that you're off track. It actually means that you're on the right track. If we think about it biblically, it talks about how when we go through trials and tribulations, that's how you know you're on the right track. That's how you know that your relationship with God is going deeper. So, and this channel is for everybody. I want people to hear this message, whether you're a Christian or not. This message is universal in the sense where let that be your anchor. That just because you're experiencing discomfort in this time of change, that you should know that it's breaking down those bricks of limited thinking that you've built up for so long. And so I just want you to feel empowered to know that you can move forward. You can make a different decision today, and you can make a different decision tomorrow. And you don't necessarily have to think about that decision right in this moment, but because you showed up today, that is a win. And your 100% today might look different than it did yesterday, and it might look different than it does tomorrow, but that's okay. The point is, like I said, it doesn't matter how you start. It just matters that you do. So we're going to continue this journey together and we're going to embrace the chaos. We're going to continue to allow this self growth to take form in whatever way it wants to. And just be open minded and curious and allow for the things to take shape. And I'm excited to be able to bring these things to you because I truly feel like, of I'm obvious can't be the only one who are going through these types of things. And so hopefully you hear something that you can take with you and encourage you to keep pressing towards the mark, that there is something on the other side of this that can truly change your life. And if you've started this journey for a reason, there's a reason why you started this journey. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of why you started this. So I just wanted to say that you can do this. You are capable. You are remarkable. And we will talk soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.